Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna dive back into cricket. We're gonna go back to Shane Warne. A couple of you suggested watching him kind of talk about cricket. This is one of Shane Warne gives a master class on leg spin bowling from Wide World of Sports. Um, Trying to think. I think I'm gonna. Mm, I'm gonna cover this just in case there's. I don't even know if this will work, to be honest. But just in case there's like a copyright, this helps a little bit. Maybe every once in a while it does. We'll give it a go. Um, let's see. Let's do this so we can still see it pretty good. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. I will still link the video in the description along with a link over to Patreon and a link of how you can support the channel here on YouTube. But let's check this out and see what Shane's got to say here. Because how he does spin that ball, it is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is the grip is you have to feel comfortable with your grip. But as long as you're doing the basics right, you haven't got the ball too far in your palm like that, which you know if you have got it too close and too far in there, it's just about hard to get the ball to actually spin the ball. You need to have a bit of a gap in between there so you can actually get the leverage to actually spin the ball. So that's important. Grip is something, the actual pressure of your grip is something that you have to feel comfortable with. What I do, which not necessarily mean it's right, but it just suits me. That's one of the very important point. You must do what suits yourself, but as long as you're doing the basics right. My grip, a lot of people are taught to grip it really tight and really squeeze it and spread these fingers like that. The reason I don't like that, first of all, is if you've got it tight and tense, you're tense when you come to the wicket. You're actually coming up and you've got it tight and it's all getting really hard. I like to feel relaxed. I think if I feel relaxed doing it, then I'll be able to do what I want to do down that end. So the reason being I have a nice loose grip. My fingers are probably a bit too close together, but that works for me. And they're very loose. It's 2 fingers down, 2 fingers up, and the ball just slots in there like that, and the thumb just rests there.
A lot of people talk about how high your arms should be. We've heard.
That's what I mentioned. When I was a kid, I used to actually pitch in baseball. I had a team, actually, a school was trying to get me to go to their school to pitch and play. So I find this very interesting, and I like being able to see that ball up close because it is really interesting how the seams are. It's completely different from a baseball where it's kind of curved around it. And this is like just a straight halfway seam, which is probably a little bit easier. And then also, you guys were telling me that it's actually harder than a baseball, so you're gonna get a lot more out of it. And like he was saying, you don't have to grip it super hard. Whereas like with a baseball, I feel like a lot of times, especially depending on what kind of ball you're throwing, especially with a fastball, you're gonna be like gripping it harder because you're throwing it harder. So this is really, really interesting.
People say you shouldn't be above the perpendicular and you shouldn't be too low when you release the ball.
Yeah, I think somewhere that you've got too high and you've got too low. I think somewhere in between there is about where mine sometimes gets a little bit too low, but most of the time it's around that sort of area. I'm not sure what sort of degrees that is, but that I think enables me to get maximum spin from my deliveries and also my variations. Generally my wrong and my arm will be a little bit higher, but generally my leg break will be working about that sort of angle. So I've got my run up, I'm here, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Now I start to build it up. As I get closer to the wicket here, I start to build it up and then I bowl. Pretty good cherry, just quietly too.
And when you reach the crease, you talk about this explosion at the crease. This is the energy at the crease, isn't it? And where do you propel it? Towards the batsman?
Well, I'm a little bit different. A lot of people, I know I'm a bit different in some things, but a lot of people, what they think
different
about...
in every way there is, mate.
Thanks, Mark. But what a lot of people think about is they think about a spot on the wicket. They think about certain different things. I actually think about what shot I want the batsman to play. Whether I want him to push him back and defend, whether I want to draw him forward to drive, whether I want him to try and sweep, whether I'm trying to push him back on the back foot. So that allows me to bowl exactly where I want rather than focusing in on a spot or anything like that. I think about what I'm trying to get the batsman out. I've got my plan. I'm trying to work to that plan to get them out.
He's on like a whole other level. I think with most pitchers, even in baseball, um, you're aiming for something. I mean, it's a little bit different, obviously, between baseball and cricket because you can actually hit a person hitting in cricket, and it's fine apparently. Um, but even more so because you're aiming at these three sticks, and whereas baseball, you at least have this kind of imaginary square. So I think in your head, you're always kind of you know where that is, but he's already like ahead of it. I'm thinking about it's like he already knows he's gonna hit what he wants to hit, but it's what he wants the hitter to do. He's how he wants them to react to do what he wants to do, which is why like it's like chess, and he's already way ahead of you before you've even started.
So then it's a matter of execution. You have to execute what you're trying to do with your plan, or you have to start again.
Okay, and you talk sometimes, I've heard you talk about bowling up.
Yep. The two things I get, sometimes I do get a bit too round arm. So my key words are think high and spin up, which means if my arm's there and I think high, it just gets it up to about there. It doesn't mean it's up there.
Yeah.
So I think high to get my arm up into that position, and spin up is not to make sure you spin down, but it's actually to spin the ball up. And here in Perth,
That's
you can
to get the ball above the batsman's eye level.
Well, it's to get the ball up in there. As a spin bowler, you have to deceive them in flight. No matter what sort of pace you bowl, you still have to deceive them in flight. You're not going to beat people off the pitch too much. You have to get them in the air. You have to get them to second guess what's going on. Right. And you do that in flight.
Try to give us this feeling then of standing tall and spinning up.
Well, the easiest thing is to do, there's a difference when you actually bowl. It's all about when you release the ball too. Sometimes if you try and do it and you're actually trying to spin the ball hard, you generally get to about into this position, then you try and spin it hard, and what happens is you drag it down. So if you're trying to spin it hard, sometimes you open up like that and you drag it down spinning. So you actually want to spin up, for me, means I get myself in that position and I spin the ball up like that.
And what role does the follow through play in all of that?
Crucial.
Okay.
Crucial is the follow through. There's no point bowling the ball and stopping here. This, with your follow through and things like that, you've got your momentum with your run up. When you've actually released the ball, it's just like any other fast bowler, any other bowler. You must make sure you follow through, and that's where your hips and everything else drive. You follow through and you come right through the ball, and everything's at the target. There's no jumping in or angles like that. It's all straight at the target, and the target's the batsman. So you bowl the ball. Once you bowl the ball, you're actually following through, all your weight's going forward. That helps you get that shape and dip and spin and all those nice things.
Let's get on to the four main deliveries you've got, Shane. Firstly, the leg break.
The leg break, basically your wrist is in that position with the back of your hand facing his face, and that's how you bowl your leg break from right to left. That's how it goes. And then from there, you've got different versions of that. You've got more overspin with the leg break, you've got more side spin. They're all the different variations of the same delivery. But that's the basic leg break.
So the back of the hand's pointing at your own face.
To me, yep.
Yeah.
Then if you want to bowl an overspinner, it's basically just go straight over the top like that. And then if you go to the wrong end,
nearer the sky, and then the wrong end, the back of the hand's facing the batsman.
Facing the batsman.
Okay.
So there are people that can bowl it a wrong and a lot better than what I can, but that's how I bowl mine. A lot of people can bowl them different sorts of ways and different leg breaks, but they're the basic for children trying to bowl leg breaks. If you try and get your wrist in that position for a leg break, that position for a straight one, that position for a wrong one, then hopefully you'll be okay.
How does the flipper work?
The easiest thing with a flipper is to click your fingers, put the ball in there, click your fingers, and try and get the ball to come up, and do exactly the same up here. Click your fingers.
Give us all four. Four balls.
Okay, here's the leg break.
Leg break first.
I'll go leg break, top spinner, wrong un, then I'll bowl a slider and a flipper.
Okay.
So first of all, you get your leg break, everything the same that we've talked about. Leg break,
Okay, so that's got the back of the hand facing you.
Yep. Then the top of the overspinner or top spinner.
Back of the hand heading towards the sky.
And then the wrong un.
Oh yes, back of the hand facing the batsman. Slider.
Slider with the seam. I'll do the seam down this way.
You're in good mix, sliding out the side of the hand.
And now the
then,
flipper to
lastly,
finish
the
with,
flipper.
which is a great delivery to bowl when it comes out well.
Okay, great to watch those. And just to finish, some
Just wanted to stop that for a second and see how, it's amazing because when I was watching his like 10 best spins or whatever it was for his career, I know I didn't pick it up on all of them, but when it showed like the speed on some of them, he wasn't throwing it like really fast. It looked faster than it was. Um, but he's got a lot of different things in his bag. Um, as far as what he can do, and he does. It seems like he does all of them really, really well. Um, it's really impressive. I'm glad that I'm watching this with, and especially with him, um, because it really puts even more in perspective. Because I'm still learning about cricket. There's a ton that I do not understand, obviously, and I'm gonna continue to have questions about it. But just as far as giving appreciation to what he accomplished and what he was able to do, it's impressive, really impressive.
thoughts for youngsters, because gee, you guys get smacked over the boundary ropes too often for kids to stick with the art sometimes.
A couple of basic things I need. First of all, you need to be best friends just about with the captain because they're the ones going to try and keep you on. You need to have a lot of love from everybody because it's hard and it can be embarrassing sometimes. And also you've got to have a bit of courage. No matter what's actually happening, you've got to be able to throw it up, and getting hit for six sometimes can be fun. You don't mightn't like it, but no matter how far it goes, you get a chance to bowl the next ball, whether it's a different ball or whatever, you get a chance to bowl it again. So for the dads watching, just make sure you give them lots of encouragement and try and spin the ball.
Yeah, that was a really good video. Really a master of what he does. I mean, it really is a masterclass. I saw that he did, while I was searching for this video, I saw that he also did videos of like for kids and some videos where he is teaching kids, which I think is awesome that he's like um really trying to give back and teach people how to do things in the correct way, even if it's just the correct way for them, that it can be different. Um and really it kind of shows his love for the game, and I think that came through. I mentioned in the video, I had watched with him previously, of um you know what he does, and I didn't even realize how much at the time. I'm realizing more now, but the time that it took to master and do what he was doing, you have to love what you're doing. Like, you really have to enjoy it, and that he wants to um pass that along to younger generations, and keep the game going and the spin going. And I just think that's really cool. What he did, what he accomplished, and his way of giving back, I think was just incredible. I really do. I definitely want to watch some more videos about him. If you guys know specific ones, let me know. I saw a couple that I saved. There's some I think I passed by that I kind of want to go back and re-add now. But yeah, really good video. And Sean, one of the members, was able to actually meet him. He's the one that suggested the original video, and just kind of reiterated, that he seemed like as good of a person off the field as he was on it. So, you always love people like that. You always want to root for them. But yeah, great athlete, great person. Um, yeah, let me know if you guys know other videos that we should watch, because I'm down for it. Uh, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for explaining, the ins and ins and out of cricket for me. Some of you guys went into really big detail, and I do appreciate it. I do read them. I may not fully respond to it at the time just because I'm doing other stuff, but I do see it, and I do really appreciate it, and I it does the more I read about it and I think about it, like, it does sink in, but I'm sure I will still have questions, and a lot of times probably the same ones. Um, but we're getting there. I'm working on it. But yeah, I loved this, and I appreciate you guys watching with me and bearing with me while I learn. So yep, thank you guys. Have an awesome, awesome day. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff.